to keep your body, mind, and spirit up and moving. What's that mean to you? You all just sit here and smile. Jenny's just sitting here smiling. 20 minutes post cookies, I know it. Why?
It means don't be a couch potato.
Don't be a couch potato. You know? Had a girlfriend and she was very wonderful. She had no kids and she adopted a retired, one of those dogs that run the track. The Greyhounds. And all it did was like belly up on her sofa.
Yep.
You know? It was hysterical. It was a silly dumb dog. I didn't understand it. And of course it was a sight dog, so the minute that you opened the door, it could see a squirrel in the next county and it was running. You know, so between, it was either running or it was flopped, all right? But don't be a couch potato. Not in your mind and not in your body. You got that? You are how you think. Your level of motivation, your level of empowerment is everything to you, because this disease tries so hard to slow you down. Tries to slow down your body, your mind, and your spirit. It's what Parkinson's disease does. Slow, and if you get slow enough, what do? Stop. So my favorite line is, if you want to stay alive, stay out of the recliner. If you want to stay alive, stay out of the recliner. Get yourself in a mindset that you are going to overcome and you're going to stand up. It's called how to overcome the overwhelming. Parkinson's disease is overwhelming. It's the word that I choose to use when I define it. It's overwhelming on all different aspects. Physically, emotionally, mentally, and socially. What does overwhelming mean to you?
Cannot be dealt with.
It's like enough already. It's stress. Stress is a huge piece of this disease. But it's like, how much more of this am I supposed to put up with? Day in and day out, right? 24/7. I call it 25/8, which is my next book. If I live long enough to write it, I'm going to call it 25/8. Parkinson's disease 101. Right? All right. How do you keep your body, mind, and spirit up and moving? And why is it so important for you? How many of you what is your coping skill? What is your mechanism to keep yourself standing? You know, it's like, stand if only in your mind. Stand if only in your mind. You live, you motivate, you empower, you live here. It doesn't really, what your body and your function and what's going on from the neck down really truly matters. Am I right? Well, how you're thinking up here, how you're pushing yourself, how you're wrapping your head around what's going on in your life is what's going to save your life. It's your lifeline. How many of you have accepted your disease? How many of you say, okay, here I am, I'm just great, and I have Parkinson's disease? How many, and you can answer privately, this is your personal business. But how many of you can honestly say, I accept it. I have accepted it. If you want to raise your hand, I'd love to see you. Because I already know who it is. Yeah. Why is it so important to accept?
Can't change what we don't acknowledge.
What, honey? You can't change what, huh?
You change what you don't acknowledge.
You can't change what you don't acknowledge.
You can't change what you don't acknowledge. You know, it's a simple statement. You can't fight a ghost, right? You know, you have to say, okay, if you want to face lying and if you want to face Parkinson's disease, you got to stand up and face it. You got to say, here it is. I see it. It's part of my life today. It's waking up with me every morning, and I face it and I accept it. If you haven't accepted it yet, this is one disease that I encourage patients to do everything in your power to try to accept it. Some diseases you can get through living with it and not 100% wrap your head around it. But because this disease affects every part of you, the faster that you accept it and understand it, the key is to be stronger and smarter than the disease, right? Because this disease is going to come in with the potential to knock you down, just run you over, change you, put you in the chair and keep you there, right? Keep you in a gray shabby bathroom, keep you depressed, keep you tired, keep you apathetic, keep you home. But if you accept it, you simply say, okay, I accept you're in my life, and I'm in control of my life, and here's my problem, and here's what I'm going to do about it. So accept it. The next thing you have to do is what? Yeah, Pete.
Well, I find Parkinson's a little different than other diseases in the sense that you start out with it and you really don't get very many symptoms. They finally diagnose you with it, and you're still living a pretty normal life. But you could run and hide from it at those stages, but eventually it catches up with you. You get up to stage 2, stage 3, and you have to accept it. There's no hiding or running from it anymore. It's your daily life.
Yeah. Pete says you have to accept it because as you stage, this is progressive degenerative, all right? But always on a positive note, and I always have you playing that positive note, that every person in this room, every Parkinsonian is totally different. You're going to have a different progression, you're going to have a different response to your medication. Some of you are going to exercise more, some of you are going to think more positive than others, okay? So you can't cookie cut. I can't cookie cut you like some of the other diseases going on in the world, all right? You are unique unto yourself. It's why the component of what you do for yourself, your action plan, your personal care plan is critical because that's your power to deal with how you are today with this disease. I encourage you to stay in the moment with this disease. Don't do that what if, perhaps, and maybe. How many of you get into what if, perhaps, and maybe? Very common for people. You worry about what might never happen tomorrow. What if? Or perhaps I'll be on a walker. Or maybe I'll be falling on. What if I have to give up driving? All this what if, perhaps, and maybe. Don't deal with that. You stay focused, tunnel vision on your life today. Who am I today? How am I doing today? All right? Am I doing everything in my power to be my best today? Remember, you got to lighten up a little bit with yourselves. All right? You don't have to live up to anybody else's expectations. Did you know that? You set your own expectations. You don't have to live up to anybody else's expectations. Your only responsibility is to be the best that you can be. Doesn't that make you feel better? I know it makes me feel better. All you have to do is be able to honestly say to yourself, graciously say to yourself, I'm doing my best here. How many of you can say you're doing your best? You're sitting in front of me, you're doing your best. You all got an A+, I'm making happy. Huh? You all get an A+ with me because you're sitting here. You're not belly up in the recline with the clicker. You're not in bed in a ball. What happened? What'd you say? I gotta watch these undertones over here. You're up, you're dressed, you're here, you're motivated. Even on days that you don't want to be here. You push anyway, don't you? Because once you get here, once you do what you're trying to do here, right? And the other thing too is you got to keep the ball rolling. You got to stay ahead of the game, right? The minute you stop doing what you're doing, guess what's going to happen? I learned a long time ago. You have a relationship with your disease. Am I right? You hear me? You have a relationship with your disease. It's you and your Parkinson's and your caregiver, of course. Basically, me, myself, and I, it's you and your Parkinson's disease. And every relationship moves. Did you know that? I don't know about you, but I like the guy, and I like to be the one out here, because if I'm out here, you're following me, and I'm way ahead of the game. I'm leading the parade, right? That's where I like it. The minute that you slow down, the minute you get weak, the minute that you give up, what happens? Oh, I'm getting tired, I'm not getting up today. What happens?
Parkinson's wins.
Now what are you doing? Who's ahead of the game? Not you. You're bringing up the rear. I don't want you here. I want you there. I want you stand up. You can't lead the parade in your life from last place. You gotta be up front. All right, and that's your goal. This is my life, this is my disease, I am in control. I want you to be tolerant of yourselves. This is very important. Don't beat yourself up. In case you haven't noticed, we're all seniors. Tony, y'all know Tony? Our Tony, isn't she sweet? She had a birthday yesterday. And I realized that I was 20 years older than she. It was an eye-opener. So I demanded more respect. I said, that's it. Okay? We're all seniors. It takes us a little longer. It takes us a little more time, have you noticed? And then if you add on this Parkinson disease razzle-dazzle, all right, it's going to take more time. It's going to take more energy. So what? Be tolerant that you're not what you were when you were 25, 35, 45. How many of you think along the lines better with age? Oh, that's scary. 2 out of how many have I got here? I used to teach a class from Memorial. I called it better with age. Huh? Fruitcake.
Oh, no.
What's so great about growing old? Well, here's a blast from the past. I haven't thought about this talk for a while. What's so great about growing old?
Well, you don't have to go through the rest of it again.
Yeah, you don't have to go through the risk of it again, right? I don't know about you, but I'm happy that I got through safely the first time. You know, I can look at part of my past and have a panic attack. What's so great about growing old?
What's the alternative?
Well, come on, Barry, give me a positive comment. Barry says, what's the alternative? You're waking up on the right side of the grass, right? But
I think your values change and you see that stuff means nothing and people mean everything.
stuff means, Kai said that your values change. I think we do change as we mature and as we grow and as we have more and more life events every single day that matter, right? I know for me, things that were really important to me in my 40s, 50s, don't really matter to me so much. What's your number one priority? The ability. I think that as you mature, you are able to really fine-tune your priorities. The other thing that happens when you're handed a difficult diagnosis, such as Parkinson's or some of the other more difficult diagnoses, I think that the first thing that happens is that your priorities really come and smack you in the face. Don't they? You're like, oh my goodness, I got this going on now. So what really matters to me now? What really matters to me? How many of you have your priorities straight? Because if you don't, I encourage you to work on that. Because if you don't have your priorities straight, I promise you, you're not going to get the best out of this day. I promise you, you're not. Okay? What's the greatest thing that you gain as you age? Knowledge and wisdom, right? It's the truth, a lot of us have raised kids and raised grandchildren, right? And you're doing it wrong. I raised 3 great kids and I used to say, trust me, I did it that way. It doesn't work. I don't care, Mom, I'm doing it anyway. Right? Because you have to experience, you have to learn it. Success or failure, that's part of maturing and learning and gaining the wisdom that you need. Greatest compliment I ever gave to my mother was when I was about 50 years old. A very wonderful mother. She's still alive and doing very well in New Jersey. She's 93. Sharp as a tack. Actually probably in a lot better shape than me. Very happy and very gracious for her life. But I remember I called her when I turned 50, and I said, Mother, I just want to tell you that everything you ever said to me was right. She almost coded on the floor. She was like gasping for breath. She said, what did you say to me? Because I was always the smart one, and the wise one, and the ornery one, and the stubborn one. of their 4 kids. And I realized if I had just listened to my mother, my life would have been so much easier. Well, I wouldn't be as smart as I am today, and I would have appreciated and have learned so much in the real world if I'd have done it mother's way, right? So, how do you keep your mind alert? How do you keep your mind motivated? How do you play the positive note when you wake up in the morning? What's the key? Your key to living well with Parkinson's disease is nothing more than your attitude. It's all in your head. Yes, did you want to speak?
I just wanted to say attitude is the key.
Attitude is everything. Attitude is everything because, you know, life at large, no matter what it is, you are not going to control it. You are not going to control the happenings of the day. You are not going to control the people in your life. You are not going to control the weather, the traffic, the outcomes. Nothing. What do you control?
Yourself.
Your actions.
The only thing you can control, which gives you your empowerment and your strength, is how you respond to it. So you're facing life a difficult day every single day with Parkinson's, and you can really let it spoil your life, couldn't it? I gotta tell you, you have every excuse known to man to be grumpy and miserable and lazy and, oh, woe is me. Did you know that? Why aren't you that way?
It's not good for you.
Because most of the time you hurt me out. Because you choose to accept, you choose to look at it in a positive note. Okay? Always remember, don't give this disease too much credit. It's nowhere near as strong as you. You agree with me? Sometimes you think it is, don't you? How has it changed you? How is it a motivate? How does it affect your ability to be positive? You know, I'm asking you to be very positive when you've got a lot of negativity going on. Is there anything positive and happy and easy about Parkinson's? Throw out some good stuff.
This wonderful place here.
That's my girl. This one
That was number
place.
7, right?
Yeah, good. You bring me up to the top a little higher, right? What's so great about having Parkinson's?
Somebody mentioned attitude,
Yeah.
and I've always had a positive attitude. The one thing that I really enjoy here is the humor. If I can't smile, even with Parkinson's, if I can't smile, I might as well die.
Yeah.
I love to smile, I like to joke, and get the right attitude with every day.
See that? Yeah, we have a choice. Good job. Thank you. You know, you have a choice in life. You know, you can be happy or you can be sad. What do you want to be?
Happy.
You can be positive or you can be negative. It's your choice. I got nothing to do with it, right? And the fact is sometimes, you know, life isn't all real perky and happy and you got to pull it up from within or you have to. I'm a big believer in picking the people that I like to spend my life with. This is no time if you have, you know, Mr. Doom and Gloom or Miss Sourpuss in your life. Ditch them. This is no time for that. You know, there's Sourpuss, you know, the people that, you know, and there's I have 1 or 2 in my life. They couldn't find anything good or fun or pretty or happy about anything. Passive aggression, you know, negativity. I don't like that. I don't want it. Because you can only, you know, it's hard enough to keep yourself up, right? You don't need to worry about holding somebody else, and particularly my caregivers, I know how hard you try. You know, it's a huge mission for caregivers. Those special people that love on the Parkinson patient, and a big mission for them is that they love you so much they want you to be happy. And they want you to feel good about yourself and to feel good about your life. And that's exhausting, isn't it? It's exhausting. You know? So you want to surround yourself with wonderful people that are giving you the attaboy or gee, I'm so happy to see you, and you look pretty, and look what you did today. The positive affirmations. Choose the people that you're around and filter your world.